So welcome everybody to Webinar Wednesday. I see some new faces on here, which is awesome. So very quickly, guys, what Webinar Wednesday is literally where I want to take, 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it takes, and just talk about something, whether it be an indicator or like a certain tool, or just something that's going to provide value for you guys on the trading aspect of things, right? So just any way that I can fast track people to diving into a little bit more of the education aspect, or understanding a certain component to it, or just all in all, the faster we help people making money, like if there's anything I can do to speed up that process, I'm going to do it. So today, I wanted to chat about how to determine what your lot size should be and what your risk should be. And then I also want to go one step further and kind of break down what that means in terms of a dollar amount, right? So I'm going to share my screen here with you guys. I got to just go over a couple things here. Bear with me while I do this. Let's share this guy. Awesome. Okay, so give me a thumbs up, throw one in the chat if you can hear my voice and see my screen. Somebody let me know that you guys can see that, can hear me. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to go side by side here. So this is the harmonic scanner, right? For those of you that don't know, this is straight from iMastery Academy. I just went on to im.center, clicked on strategies, and opened up the harmonic scanner. So the harmonic scanner here, just so you guys can see, it literally is just giving you trade ideas. Right now, it's not backed by a person. Like, this isn't a person that's giving you these trade ideas, but it's actually based on an algorithm, because the algorithm actually, the market tends to repeat itself in terms of patterns. So this is a butterfly pattern. This is a shark pattern. This is the Gartley. To me, they all look like triangles. To be completely transparent, I don't know what makes up a shark, a butterfly, or a Gartley, but they all look like triangles to me. So the thing that I want you guys to realize here is, okay, we have an entry point, we have a take profit, and we have a stop loss, right? We have all of these numbers that we need to enter a trade. But before we ever enter a trade, you always hear educators talking about risk management, right? Risk management, risk management, risk management. So how do you know what your lot size should be? Right? How do you know how much you should be risking on this trade? Now, some educators that put out their own trades or follow a certain strategy, like the pivots, for an example, like the educator Baz will actually give you what your risk management should be, right? But what if you want to take a harmonics trade, or what if you want to take a swipe trades trade on the app, but you don't know what your lot size should be? Okay, so I'm going to introduce you guys to a tool called Baby Pips. Okay, so literally, guys, all you got to do, let me make this bigger here. It's babypips.com. Okay, so definitely make sure you add this as a favorite. It's a great website, guys. But what you want to do is come to where it says tools, and there's a lot of great tools in addition to what I want to show you. But what I actually want to show you is something called the position size calculator. Okay, this is one from Baby Pips. There's another one from my FX book as well. That's really, really good. FX, portion size calculator. That one, it'll go over like gold and things like that. But for the most part, the foreign exchange pairs, this portion size calculator is perfect. So I'm going to break this down for you guys. So literally, all you need to do, I'm going to have to put this side by side here just so we can be transparent and see kind of both sides here. So let me just get this kind of figured out here. So literally, guys, all you got to do is just punch in the data. Okay, so account currency, I'm going to use Canadian. Let's say that we have $1,000 in our account, right? And then how much do you want to risk, right? This risk percentage would be, some educators say risk between 1% and 3% per trade. Some educators will say risk as much as 5%. Personally, I don't do more than 3%. 3% seems to be what I do. So I'll just do 3% for you guys. Then it's going to ask you what the stop loss is in terms of pips, right? So if you're not too sure what that is, it's literally the distance between the entry and the stop. Okay, so you can do kind of the quick math. This entry number minus this number, and you get the distance in pips, right? So, or there is a ruler calculator here. You can click on the ruler calculator. Literally, just click, and this is going to be very it's not going to be precise, but it'll give you an idea. You click on it, you scroll up to the top there, and you can see it's 250, right? Now, in terms of calculating pips, a little rule of thumb, guys, is literally just drop off the last number on the pips, okay? Because that's usually a 1/10 of a pip, or like a micro pip, or a pipette, excuse me. So in this case, we're looking at 25 pips between our entry and our stop loss. So essentially, our stop loss is 25 pips, okay? So I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna throw 25 pips in here. And then it's asking for the pair. So this one is Euro USD, so conveniently that's already there. And then it's asking for your current price, like your bid price. So essentially this is just what is the entry price, okay? So right here it says our entry price, so let's punch that in, 109,263, 1.09263. And literally just hit calculate, guys. And it's going to give you some results. So I'm going to make this bigger here just to show you guys here. So with all of that information that we punched in, we hit calculate and it spits out these numbers, okay? Now what you want to focus on is standard lot size. That's typically what we deal with. So in this trade, if I had $1,000 in my account and I only wanted to risk 3% on this trade, my lot size should be 0.10, or I guess you could round out 0.11. But that's how you determine what your lot size is. And there's a little bit more information. So if you did lose this trade, right? If I go back to the harmonic scanner here, if we did lose this trade, I mean, you guys can see the idea of this trade is to come up, hit this entry point, which it looks like it did, and then make its way down, right? That is essentially what we're looking to achieve, right? Now, the stop loss is obviously there if it does happen to go the wrong way, if it keeps going up and up and up, right? So it's actually going to take us out of the market at a loss at that point. But when we enter a trade, that's what we're comfortable with doing, right? We have to determine, are we comfortable with risking this amount to gain this amount, okay? So again, guys, let me go back here. So if we entered in on this trade at 3%, $1,000, our lot size should be 0.10, okay? Or 0.11, you can round up with it a little bit. So that's how you determine your lot size, guys, okay? And you can use this with anything. Like if there's another pair, I won't go over another example. I wanna keep this video kind of short for the sake of recording, guys, but literally all you need to do, like I say, is just calculate the distance between the entry, right? Put how much you have in terms of an account size or a portion size, right? How much you want to risk, 1 to 3%. Again, some educators say up to 5. I personally like 3%. You put in what that stop loss amount is, enter the currency pair, and then what your entry price is. Calculate, it spits out all this good stuff, okay? So this is a excellent tool, guys. Outside of, you know, what an educator is gonna give you in terms of a risk size, I look at this every single time before I make a trade. Every single time. So get in the habit of determining, what my lot size should be and how much am I actually going to be risking if I lose that trade, okay? And I have a dog barking in the background here. She's on Paw Patrol, which is awesome. But anyway, so the other thing I want to share with you guys, sorry, give me 1 sec. I'm going to put you guys, 1 second. All right, sorry guys, I had a little puppy. She is what is she? She's a Chihuahua crossed with Papillon, and she's like this big. She's like 3 pounds if she's wet, but she thinks she's a big dog. So anyways, guys, so let me get back on track. That was definitely a squirrel moment here. But, you know, the point here, guys, is again, like, you know, lot size, risk management. You always hear it, but how do you calculate that? So I hope this little tip kind of helps out on, you know, how to determine what your risk size should be. And you can do this with anything, guys. And I know sometimes you might not have this nice, pretty graph that you can see like what the distance is between everything here. So I want to take it one step further, guys. And I actually want to break this down in terms of dollars and cents as well. So I actually have just kind of like a very quick little Word doc here. So literally, guys, this is because you want to get to the point where, okay, yeah, you can copy and paste these numbers in your MetaTrader 4 and place a trade, right? Anybody can do that, but I would encourage you guys to actually physically, you know, you can use TradingView, excuse me, is a great tool where you can actually have a chart and mark it up. This is just mine here. I'll just quickly show you here. So you literally can come here. It's a free service. You can use tradeview.com and literally like there's I think it allows you up to 3 indicators and and 1 alert, which is great because you can actually set alerts. But let me just make this big here, get rid of those other indicators. But yeah, you can come here and take, you know, whatever the trade is and just mark it up on to get that visual. Like, you know, this is my, you know, entry point here, right? If I was to say, you know, and you can change this as well. So this is my entry point, right? This is just an example, guys. Let me put it up here. Let me throw another line on here. We'll say this is going to be our purple for for take profit, right? So this one I'll say take profit. And then we'll throw another line on here just for stop loss, right? Red is bad, stop loss, okay? Oops, I'm setting an alarm. Let's just say stop loss. Right, so I would encourage you guys to take the numbers from whatever trade that you get. I mean, this is a bad example, like, because they're already in front of you with the harmonics. But if you get like a swipe trade, you know, alert, or if somebody's calling out a trade, you know, I would highly encourage you to actually put this on a chart, right? You get that visual of where it's going and where I'm entering and where my take profit is, right? You want to get to the point where you know what you're doing with your money, right? How much am I risking? What is it doing? So I would encourage you to get that visual, okay, guys? So what I'm going to do is break down, you know, this entry point, like this example in terms of dollars and cents, right? We know what our risk should be. We determine it. We determine that. So let me go back. So our lot size, I think it should be 0.10 for this, right? So we're just going to break down this trade, guys. So 0.10 is going to be our lot size, right? Now, in terms of lot size, in terms of like how do you convert a lot size into a dollar amount? All you got to do, guys, is literally move the decimal place over to the right by 1. Okay, so 0.10 lot size is actually $1. Okay. You guys see that? 0.10, move the decimal place over to the right on the 1, or sorry, move it over to the right 1, excuse me, and that's what it is in a dollar amount. So every pip of movement, you're either going up $1 or you're going down $1, okay? So I'm just gonna quickly punch these numbers in here, guys. Let me just minimize this. So we have our entry price over there, which is 1.09263. Oh, sorry, that's our entry. So this is take profit of 1.08767. I'm just going to use just the one entry price, guys. One take profit, excuse me. There's 3 take profits here. Entry price here is 1.09263. And then our stop loss, you can see here, is 1.0951, and then there is a 0 there. So how do we determine, what our risk is, right? Remember how I just did that quick little math to measure it, but you can break it down here. You don't need it on the chart. So our risk is essentially what our entry is minus our stop loss. Very quick, easy math, right? So our entry is 1.09263 minus what our stop loss is, and our stop loss is 1.09510. Okay. Now the quick math between that is what? 109.26. That is 5. You know what? I'm just gonna bust out a calculator here just for easy reference. So, and you guys can do this as well if you guys want to follow along. So 1.09263 minus 1.09510. Okay, guys, you guys see that? This is what we're doing here right now, okay? And so we get 0.002447, okay? So that's what we get, right? Now, so again, what I talked about in terms of the pips, like you want to drop off that last digit, okay? So I'm gonna highlight this. So the last digit is here, last digit is here, last digit is here, because again, that is a micro pip or a pipette. It's a 1/10 of a pip, okay? So we know our entry price is, or sorry, our risk is actually, we said 25 pips, I think, in the other one. I think it rounded up, but literally 24 pips is the risk for this trade. Okay. Now, again, how much is that in terms of a dollar amount? I know we did it we did the calculation using the baby pips right here. Make that. We did this same calculation, guys. I'm just showing you again here, like literally writing it out. So risk. So we got 25 pips. 25 pips or 24.7. I'll just round up to 25. 25 pips times our lot size, which is $1 in this case, right, is going to equal $25. Okay, that's essentially what we're looking at here, guys. Now let me go back here. So the same can apply. You can use the same rule for the profit as well. So it does incorporate, you'll see, sorry, let me go back. I'm all over the place here, guys. So you will see a little bit of a difference. Like it says $30 here, and we calculated 25. The reason for that difference is actually the exchange between the Canadian and like the currency pair that we're using here in terms of US, because we're here USD. So there is a little bit of a conversion that's happening kind of behind the scenes within the calculator here, as opposed to this. So but this will give you a very generic aspect of it. So again, the same way for the profit, guys, what we're doing is we're taking our take profit minus our entry. Again, very simple, easy, quick math here, guys. So I'm just going to punch this in. So our take profit is 1.08767, and then that's going to be minus our entry price of 1.09263. I'll just punch that in the calculator real quick. 1.08767 minus 1.09263, and we get 0.496. 496. Whoops, sorry. So again, guys, like how do you know how many pips that is? Again, just drop that last number off, right? Because again, that's a micro pip, it's a pipette, it's a 1/10 of a pip. So we're talking about 49 pips profit. If this trade comes down and hits the TP1, we will get 49 pips out of that, okay? Now again, how much is that in terms of a dollar amount? Again, we're referencing our lot size, right? Very, very easy, quick math. 49 pips, right, times $1 in this case is $49, okay? So it's very easy, it's very basic when you understand kind of the fundamentals and kind of how it works, right? So I hope this kind of helps out a little bit, because again, guys, everybody can copy and paste a trade. You can put these numbers in, you can put the stop loss, you can put the take profit, but when you actually go live with your own real money, you should know, if I lose this trade, I'm going to lose X amount of dollars. If I win this trade, I'm going to win X amount of dollars, right? So again, I would encourage you, once you understand where the numbers go within your MetaTrader 4, write this out, right? Hop on, the baby pips calculator and calculate how much am I going to lose if I lose this trade at 3%. And you can play around. You can do 1% if you want, right? 1%. If you wanted to do, 5%, you can play around with the numbers. And again, it's going to give you that lot size, right? But once you have the lot size, you have to go that extra step further on this little calculation that I showed you to determine how much money are you going to win and how much money you're going to lose. Well, I mean, it shows how much you're going to lose on the other side, but how much are you going to win, right? So I would encourage you guys to do that, okay? That's what it's all about. You want to get to a point where you're comfortable making the trades in MetaTrader 4, but you should take that next step and just put it on a chart. Put it on, write it out on a piece of paper. Like what's going to happen if this hits stop loss? What is going to happen if I hit take profit? Okay, so I hope this helped out a little bit, guys. But does anybody have any questions or just anything about that example? The chat box is open. Feel free to ask if you guys have any questions. I'm just looking at the chat box here. Michelle's asking, James, do you want to chat about choosing a smaller lot size during times that the market is more volatile? Yeah, so again, guys, like that 1 to 3%, 1 to 5%, if you want to say that, that risk is totally on your shoulders, right? Nobody else is managing your money but you, okay? So you need to make that decision before, not after you make a trade. Before you make a trade, you need to be comfortable with, okay, if I lose this trade, you know, I'm only going to risk 1% or 3% or whatever it is. And if it does hit that stop loss, I'm comfortable with losing, you know, $20 with the potential of making 40 or 60, right? Or I'm comfortable with, you know, losing $50 to make, you know, 100 or 150, right? You need to make that decision before you make the trade by selecting your lot size before you make the trade, okay? Again, guys, babypips.com is that website. There's another one called, what is it called? It's on FX. You know what? I'm just gonna quickly show you guys really quick. Let me share my screen again. It is, I think it's my FX book. FX book. And then you can come here. And then, I saw it. Portion size calculator, where are you? Systems, strategies. You know what? I saw it on the homepage here. Portion size calculator. There we go. And it's the same thing, guys. You select your currency, right? Your account size, how much in your account, what you want to risk, what the stop loss is in terms of pips, and what the currency pair is. Hit calculate, bang. It's going to spit out the same thing as baby pips. The only thing with FX Book is they do have a little bit more pairs. Like they do have, you know, gold and things like that. They do have some of the other, you know, I think there's cryptocurrency pairs in here as well, if I'm not mistaken. But there's a little bit more in terms of selection. I really like baby pips. That's just kind of what I've been using. But yeah, guys, definitely come here and make sure that you're using this before you take any trade that does not give you a lot size to take. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Anybody have anything? Unmute yourself. This is very much open for discussion, conversation, whatever. That's why we're doing this, guys. Anybody have anything?
For the marathon, James, I think a lot of people have, I guess it's timing as well, entering a trade, and when the educators are putting out trades, they might not have enough time to calculate all of that. Is there something that they can kind of summarize prior to going into something like that and start trading, I guess? And it's mainly for like a lot of new people, right?
Yeah, for sure. So
like, what can you think of?
Yeah, so it depends on the strategy, right? So just as an example, I mean, Dr. Kathy Kirkland with her ECC 11 strategy, she is scalping essentially, but she's going for smaller bites, like 10 pips, right? You hear her say, you know, we're buying Euro USD for 10 pips, right? But she says that you have to have a 30 pip trailing stop loss, right? That's what it should be. Now, Dr. Kathy Kirkland is actually an advanced educator, right? But she's on with the marathon, but that's okay. Don't feel like you're getting lost. So let me break down that for you guys, so you guys can understand what I'm doing here. So let me use EuroCAD as an example. Okay, so say when she says that we're buying EuroCAD for 10 pips, you're literally just going on your phone and you're hitting market execution buy, right? So whatever you get put in, right? So say we get put in at this price where it is right now, 1.42474. Okay, now immediately we're in the trade, we have to come back to it and actually enter in our stop loss, right? So let me make a little text box here. Let's see here. So our entry, so USD CAD buy, and our entry is at 1.42490. And you'll actually have to look at your MetaTrader 4 once you hit the buy or the sell or whatever it is. It'll take you to like the trade section, and then right underneath the pair, it'll say what you entered in at. It'll be the number that is not moving. Okay, so in this case, we'll say it's 1.42490 as our entry. Let me write that out as well. entry. Okay. Now, right away, we have to determine what our stop loss is. Like, she doesn't give you a stop loss. She just says it's 30 pips from whatever your entry is, right? So how do we determine that, right? So we can do very simple, quick math here, guys. So literally what we do is we drop off that last letter, or that last number, excuse me, because again, that's a micro pip, it's a 1/10 of a pip. So really you're focusing on these last second and third place from the end, okay? So literally all we do is we minus 30 from 49. Because it's a buy, our entry, like if you see here, because it's a buy, it's going up. Let me do this here, guys, just to make sure we're all on the same page. This is the goal, right? It's going up. Now, our entry should be below our stop loss, so we're gonna have to minus it, okay? So again, guys, we just take we drop off that last digit, the 0, and we just go 49 minus 30, right? So in this case, stop loss should be 1.42, and then minus 30 is 19.0. That is 30 pips. 30 pips stop loss, right? So that's essentially what you'll do when it comes to Dr. Kathy Kirkland, right? And you know what? Because we determined our stop loss, I'm just going to move this number, this line here, because you could actually just punch in coordinates 142,190. That's our stop loss. Bang. So that's 30 pip stop loss. And I mean, you can doctor this up as well. Again, you don't really have a bunch of time to determine, like, you know, to mark it up on a chart and things like that. Now, the other thing that you need to put in as well as your stop loss is what is your take profit, right? Your take profit, she says, you know, we're buying your USD CAD for 10 pips, right? So the only thing that we're gonna know is when we press that buy button, this is the only number that we're gonna be given once we press that button, right? So we have to determine what our stop loss is, like we just did, 30 pips. So let's do the same thing for our take profit. Our take profit should be 10 pips. Take profit is essentially 10 pips. So again, we get rid of that last number and we just add 10 pips to this number of 49, right? So literally 1.42, what is that? 10 pips is 59.0. Bang. Let's put 10 pips. So then what you would do is, as you've entered that trade, right? You enter the trade, you hit market execution, bang, it puts you in at this number. You come back to that trade, you hold down on it on MetaTrader 4, click modify, and when you go modify, you can actually enter these numbers in, right? So your MetaTrader 4 knows when to take you out in profit and when to take you out if it goes below stop loss, okay? Now, one extra step that Dr. K does is she says it's a trailing stop loss, right? So as soon as you get 5 pips into profit, I'm gonna have to move this one here just so you can see it. So let me punch the take profit in, 142,590. 142,590, did I punch that in right? Looks good. So once you get here, I'll open this up a little bit. So once you get 5 pips into profit, she says to move your stop loss up to entry, or essentially make it a risk-free, right? So I'm gonna throw one more line in here, and we'll make it orange, just for the sake of this. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger here, guys. So, and this we'll say is 5 pips profit. Right? Now, how do we know what that number is, right? We need to know what it is, 5 pips in profit. So literally, same thing, guys. We can take it here. I'll make another, oops, let's not do that. So 5 pips profit. Literally, again, we just come here, right? We drop that last letter, or last number scheme. I don't know why I'm saying letter. You literally just add 5 pips to that, right? 1.42, oops, put a comma. 1.42. 540. Okay, that's 5 pips. So once, okay. So once this trade, let me get rid of this arrow. Expand it up here. So once we've entered in the profit, because you know what I mean. This may come down a little bit. It might come back up a little bit more. You might play around there for a little bit, but as soon as it breaks this 5 pips profit level, right? What Dr. K says to do is to move your stop loss to your entry point. Okay, move your stop loss up to your entry point. Now, how do you do that, right? Essentially, what you're doing is you go back, you hold down on the trade, you click modify, and you come here and you literally change that stop loss number to your entry number, right? So I'll say that again. So as soon, can I do that? So when we're in 5 pips profit, you move stop loss to entry. So in this case, we're moving our stop loss to this number. So we literally just copy this number or enter this same number in our stop loss, right? Did I do that already? Yeah, I do that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So let me come back. So essentially what that does, guys, is that secures our, let me make a space here. That's too close to me. Okay. So what that does, guys, is as we move up to profit here, when we move our stop loss up to entry, at that point, the trade is completely risk-free, right? Because if it goes up and up and up, and this has happened before, if it comes up, but doesn't quite hit the take profit, and then all of a sudden what happens? Bang, it just drops like a rock, right? Well, instead of like taking a loss at minus whatever it is, $30 for the 30 pips, $60, whatever we determine by our lot size, instead of losing money, because we move our stop loss up to our entry, now it's going to take us out of the trade at this entry at literally break even. So we didn't lose anything, we didn't win anything either, but the quicker that you can make it a risk-free trade, guys, the less stress it's going to be, right? You can kick back, you can like go for a beverage or whatever you want to do, because at that point, it's either going to two things are going to happen. You're either going to have take profit, or you're going to come back to your entry and it's going to take you out. It's risk-free at that point, right? And I mean, you guys, I'm sure, you know, if you're new, you know, you'll learn very quickly that Forex trading, whether it's high frequency, cryptocurrency, whatever the case is, it's all about reducing the amount of risk that you're going to take in a trade, right? Like how educators reduce the amount of risk in their trade is they use indicators, right? So they might have like the Ichimoto cloud, or they might have like the pivots, like the support and resistance lines. Like there's like a whole ton of, you know, a whole ton of indicators that I have on my chart that literally gives me ideas on like what's happening with the market, right? So the more I'm able to read what is happening with the market, I'm able to reduce the amount of risk even before entering the trade, right? That's what educators do. They're trying to find the best entry point for you. They're trying to find, you know, what the market is doing, and they're trying to make it so you're going to be profitable, right? So the more risk that you can eliminate from your trades, guys, the more profitable you're going to be, right? And that goes even after you've already taken the trade. The more that you can reduce this risk, the more profitable you're going to be, right? Because either you, in this case, if you moved it up, you're either going to win, or your balance on your account is either going to go up or it's going to stay the same. And those choices are great for me. Like, I'm happy with both of those. Nobody likes to lose money, right? So again, guys, you know, this is kind of Dr. K's strategy here. It's really good. You know, that's kind of what's happening with the marathon. I think for some of those people that do like indices and US 30 and things like that, it's kind of the same concept. The only thing is Dr. K uses a 200 pip stop loss. Okay, so if you've never traded gold, you know, any of the indices, you know, US 30, you know, NAS 100, I would highly recommend trading those on a demo account, just so you get the feel of how they move. Okay, because the risk management is completely different when we talk about it. Okay, so I hope this helps, guys. And you can tag whoever was not on this, just to help, you know, bring them up to speed, right? There's a lot of people that I think that are missing this little bit of info. So again, that's why we do this. Any way that I can help speed up that process, get people educated, just learn these little tidbits so they're more comfortable trading. That's what I'm going to do. So with that, guys, appreciate you guys hopping on here today with me and entertaining my craziness with the dog barking and all that stuff. But what else is on the go? So we got a marathon starting tonight at 9 o'clock. We're going to be opening up the Zoom. That's going to, Lee Allen's going to be kicking it off today. And then Dr. K, and then who is it? Baz, I think, is after that. So yeah, guys, hope this helps out, and we will see you later on tonight. Peace out.